Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Filament Health's channel, the future of psychedelics. Joining us is the Chief Executive Officer, Ben Lightburn. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Always a pleasure. Now, we got a lot of news coming out. First and foremost, Filament announces FDA authorization of clinical trials with the first ever direct psilocin administration and first ever psychedelic botanical drug candidates. Now, we've got a lot to dissect here, so let's kick it off by first of all expanding on what the psilocin administration is.
Great. Yeah, one step at a time, and we'll try to make it as painless and clear as possible. So, psilocin is a fascinating story. So, contrary to popular belief, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms is not actually psilocybin. It's a different but closely related compound called psilocin. What happens when you take a magic mushroom or you take psilocin is that the psilocin converts into, when you take psilocybin, it converts into psilocin in the body in order to become bioactive. On its own, psilocybin's not actually bioactive. This conversion process is called dephosphorylation and is thought to occur primarily in the gut. Over time, it's become commonplace to manufacture psilocybin and psilocin synthetically. But it turns out that with the synthetic manufacturing process, the psilocin that you make is actually quite unstable. And to make it into a stable form, they actually add a phosphate group to the psilocin, which A, makes it stable, and B, turns the psilocin into psilocybin. But because of that, all clinical trials up till now have actually been administering psilocybin rather than psilocin. But if you think about it, because psilocybin needs to change into psilocin before becoming active, doesn't it make sense to actually look at administering psilocin first? The reason why we're doing it is, well, for one thing, our natural manufacturing process actually managed to make a stable psilocin formulation, we think, for potentially the very first time. But putting it directly into a clinical trial, directly into humans, we could potentially see a few different benefits. Number one, we could see the onset time of psilocin is actually faster than when you administer psilocybin because you don't have to go through this little conversion period. Number two, we think that there could be less gastrointestinal side effects. This is because the conversion happens in the gut, and it's possible that this gut action causes some of the stomach upset commonly associated with psilocybin use. But number three, and potentially the most important, is that this conversion process happens differently in different people. It's because it's due to an enzymatic activity that different people have different amounts of the enzyme. And so some people, for example, may have a complete conversion into psilocin from psilocybin, or some people might experience no conversion at all and then actually not get any of the bioactive form of psilocin to cause any hallucinogenic or therapeutic effects. And we think that this conversion variability is one of the reasons why people on the street report a wide variety of potency and variability of the experience. So anyways, long story short, psilocin is the active form of psilocybin. No clinical trials have actually administered the psilocin directly before, and we're very excited and proud to be the first ones that are going to be able to do that.
That's pretty incredible insights. This is a fascinating conversation to me. So let's dissect this into the other aspect, because you guys, can you just expand on Filament's 3 proprietary botanical drug candidates that were also listed in this news filing?
So we're starting our clinical development program with 3 botanical drug candidates. The first is an oral capsule with a standardized dose of 25 milligrams of natural psilocybin. The second is an oral dose of standardized natural psilocin. And the third is actually a standardized dose of sublingual psilocin. We think that all the advantages of administering psilocin directly could potentially be amplified by administering it in a sublingual tablet. This is because when you administer something sublingually, it actually goes right into the bloodstream and then could have actually quicker effects than if you administer it through a capsule that you ingest. You mentioned that these are the first 3 botanical psychedelic drug candidates. A botanical drug is a drug that by definition must come from a natural source, but also it must contain multiple mechanisms of action or multiple compounds of action, or it must keep sort of the natural characteristics of the plant or fungi from which it is extracted. And that's the case with our products. We're very strong believers that products must contain the secondary compounds from the magic mushroom as if you were to take the magic mushroom itself. And so we're very excited to announce these botanical drug candidates, which by definition do contain the other secondary metabolites from the magic mushroom. Because we believe that over time, we might be able to prove that these other compounds can bring some benefits in combination rather than just a pure synthetic isolated compound.
Great insights, man. So I kind of want to poke into the phase trials. So for phase 1 trials will be led by the Transitional Psychedelic Research Program at the University of San Francisco. What can you tell us about the university here, and when will these phase 1 trials begin?
We decided to partner with University of California, San Francisco, and their TRIPPER program because they're one of the leaders in psychedelic research. They've conducted several trials, all so far, obviously using synthetic substances. And they've been a great partner, especially the leader of the program down there, Dr. Joshua Woolley. So we're very excited to begin patient recruitment in the next month or two, and then hopefully begin dosing directly after that. So we'll have many more announcements and positive news to share, and hopefully some early data readouts towards our hypothesis that, again, the administration of psilocin directly compared to psilocybin may have some benefits.
Incredible to hear. I can just picture the patient recruitment lineup that is just flooding into the emails for that university. But in light of this, Ben, I appreciate your time today and these insights.
Yes, 10 o'clock on December. No, just get in line, and we're happy handing out free. No. It's something like, you're right. There's been there's a lot of keen interest in this trial. So patient recruitment should not be one of the major challenges this time around.
In light of this, folks, if you ever have any questions, let us know what you think in the comment section below, and we can gladly bring them up to Ben at a future date. But in light of this, stay cool, stay awesome, and we'll catch you in the next one.